years ago, in the small village of Obodoma, there lived a young man named Ebuka. He was the only son of his widowed mother, Mama Ezinne. Life had been a struggle for them since the sudden death of his father, and the heavy burden of supporting the household fell on Ebuka's shoulders. Very early in the morning, Ebuka would be found working on someone's farm or doing menial jobs around the village. These jobs were tiring and the pay was meager, but Ebuka never complained. He had no other option, and the menial jobs had been of great help to him. Through this hard work, he had managed to renovate his father's old crumbling house, restoring it with a fresh coat of paint and fixing the leaking roof that had been a constant problem during the raining season. He had also set up a small business for his mother. Although the business was small, it was enough to help with the household expenses, and it gave Mama Ezinne a sense of purpose as she was also contributing and assisting her son. However, Ebuka's ambition was beyond toiling in the village. He dreamt of moving to the city to start a business, something substantial that could change their lives forever. The money he earned from the menial jobs was saved bit by bit to achieve this dream. The only person who knew the full extent of Ebuka's dreams was Ola, his childhood friend and the love of his life. Ola was a beautiful girl with ebony skin that glowed in the sunlight and eyes that sparkled like the stars. The two of them had been inseparable since they were children, and as they grew older, they fell deeper in love with each other. They shared their big dreams for the future together. One day, we will get married and I will build us a house bigger than this village has ever seen. We will have children and they will play in the yard while we watch them, Ebuka would tell Ola. Ola would smile. She believed Ebuka and knew that he would achieve even more. For a long time, these words of hope were enough for both of them. Ola was appreciative of Ebuka's struggles, understanding that his hard work was all for their future. She would often cook for him and bring the food for him while he worked on people's farms. Their love was pure and not dependent on material things. But as the years went by, things began to change. Ola was now a young woman and had started to see the world differently. She began to notice the other men in the village, particularly those who seemed to have money than Ebuka. These men were desirable with their fine clothes and easy lives, unlike Ebuka, who was always covered in dirt and sweat from his dirty work. Ebuka, why do you always give me so little? I see other men giving their girlfriends huge sum of money and buying them fine things, but all you ever give me is what you can spare from your savings, Ola complained out of frustration. Ebuka was taken aback. But Ola, you know I am saving for our future. Every coin I keep is for us, for the life we have always dreamt of. Ola snapped immediately. Ebuka, I am tired of your motivational speeches. I want more and I want it now. I don't want to wait forever, Ebuka. Look at your mates. They are all doing better than you. Why can't you be like them? Are you not a man? Ebuka's heart sank, but he refused to be angry. Ola, please be patient with me. I promise you, I am doing everything I can. I love you and I will take care of you. Just give me a little more time. Ola looked at Ebuka impatiently, but she didn't argue further. She knew Ebuka loved her, but love was beginning to feel insufficient at this point. Her beauty had started to attract attention from wealthier men in the village, and their attention made her feel powerful, and she was starting to believe she was just wasting her time with Ebuka. One evening, After another heated conversation about money, Ola decided to go out with her friends. They went to a local festival where many young men from neighboring village were present. As they walked through the crowd, Ola could feel the eyes of many men on her, and it pleased her. She enjoyed the compliments, the offer to buy her drinks, and the way these men treated her as though she were a queen. When she returned home that night, she couldn't help but compare the men at the festival to Ebuka. They had money, charm, and the freedom to do as they pleased, while Ebuka, on the other hand, seemed stuck in his endless cycle of work and saving, with little to show for it. The next day, when Ebuka visited her, she was distant. She barely acknowledged his presence, and when he tried to talk to her, she brushed him off with excuses. Ola, what is wrong? You have been acting differently lately. Please talk to me. There is nothing to talk about, Ebuka. I just need some space. Space? From me? Why? Because I am tired, Ebuka. I am tired of waiting, of living like this. I want more out of life, and I don't think you can give it to me. The words cut through Ebuka like a knife. Ola, I thought we have resolved this. Please, just be patient. Don't give up on me now. Mama Ezinne noticed the change in her son. He would come home from Ola's house looking troubled, and his usual smile was now replaced by a look of sadness. One evening after dinner, she decided to speak to him. Ebuka, what is bothering you? You have not been yourself lately. Ebuka hesitated, but then he opened up. It is Ola, Mama. She has been acting strangely, and I don't know what to do. I love her so much, but I feel like I'm losing her. Mama Ezinne sighed deeply. Ebuka, listen to me. Ola has changed. She is no longer the innocent girl of years ago. I have seen the way she looks at you now, as if you irritate her. She has her eyes on things bigger than this village, bigger than you. I think it is time you let her go. No, Mama, Ebuka protested. I can't give up on her. I have known her all my life. She's not a bad person. She's just frustrated with our situation. And I feel guilty that she has to suffer because of me. Suffer? Mama Ezinne asked. Ebuka, you have done nothing but work hard to make a life for her. If she cannot see that, then she is not worth your love. Don't let her drag you down. Oh. But Ebuka was stubborn. Mama, I can't just abandon her. I promised her a better life, and I will give it to her. She deserves the best, and I will work even harder to make sure she gets it. Mama Ezinne saw the determination in her son's eyes, and she knew it is difficult to advise someone in love. She only prayed that Ebuka would not pay a very high price for his love. Luckily for Ebuka, fortune smiled at him. He received a letter from his uncle in China, who had left the village years ago and made a fortune abroad. The letter was an invitation for Ebuka to come to China and join him in his business. Ebuka could hardly believe his eyes. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for, the chance to change his life and fulfill all the dreams he had shared with Ola. He rushed to tell his mother the news. Mama, Mama, he shouted as he dashed off to meet her. What is it, Ebuka? She asked curiously. Ebuka showed her the letter. Uncle Obinna has invited me to China. He wants me to join him in his business. This is the opportunity we have been praying for, Mama. God has finally done it. Mama Ezinne was astonished. Wow! This is wonderful news. I told you that God will not abandon us. This is your chance to make something out of yourself, to build the life you have always wanted. Ebuka nodded excitedly. Yes, this is it. I will go to China, learn the business, and when I return, we will have enough money to live comfortably. I can finally give you the rest you deserve. He then thought of Ola. He needed to tell her to share this good news with the woman he loved. He was very sure that this opportunity would make her very happy, that it would rekindle the love and dreams they once shared. I need to tell Ola, he said, and hurried over to her house. Ola, I have something important to tell you, he said, trying so hard to contain his excitement. This is an opportunity that would change our lives forever. Ola stood up curiously. What is it? I got an invitation from my uncle in China to come and join him in his business. This is the opportunity we have been waiting for, Ola. I will be able to make enough money for us to finally live the life we want. But much to Ebuka's disappointment, Ola was not excited about the news. You are going to China? She asked flatly. Ebuka nodded. Yes, Ola, it is a great opportunity. I will learn the business, make good money, and then I'll come back for you. We can finally get married by then. And what if you don't come back, Ebuka? What if you go to China and forget about me? Or worst scenario, find someone else. Ebuka was stunned. Ola, what are you talking about? I love you. I have always loved you, and I am doing this for us. But Ola shook her head. I don't want you to go, Ebuka. I don't care about China or the money. I want you here with me. If you leave me, how do I know you will ever come back? Other men in this village are making money without leaving the country. Why can't you do the same? Ebuka stared at her unbelievably. Ola, I have been working so hard, saving every bit I could to go to the city to start a business. But this opportunity is even bigger. Plus, it came on a platter of gold for us. This is the chance of a lifetime. I don't want you to leave, Ebuka. If you go, I am not sure I can wait for you, she maintained. The weight of her words hit Ebuka like a punch in the ribs. He had expected Ola to be overjoyed, to see this as the answer to all their struggles. But instead, she was asking him to choose between his dreams and her. Ola, please, he pleaded. This is our chance. I will come back for you, I promise. I am sorry, Ebuka. I can't do this. I can't live with the uncertainty. If you go, I won't be waiting for you when you return. That evening, Ebuka returned home with a heavy heart. His mother noticed his distress immediately. What did Ola say? She asked. She doesn't want me to go, Mama. She's afraid I won't come back or that I will find someone else there. She asked me to stay back. Mama Izinne was shocked. What was I expecting from her before? Ebuka, this is your chance to build a better life. Don't let it slip away because of a woman. If Ola truly loves you, she would support you. But Ebuka was confused. I love her, Mama. I don't want to lose her. I have known her all my life and I can't imagine my future without her. And what if staying here means giving up your dreams? What if you stay and things don't get better? Will Ola still be by your side then? Would the sacrifice be worth it? Ebuka did not give an answer. The thought of losing Ola was unbearable, and so was the idea of giving up on his dreams. However, after a long night of tossing and turning, he made his decision. The next morning, he went to see Ola. I have decided to stay. I won't go to China. Ola's eyes lit up with relief. Oh, Ebuka, thank you. I knew you would make the right choice. We'll be together and you can still make money from here. We'll surely find a way. Ebuka returned to his normal routine of doing his menial jobs, but Ola never seemed to consider him at all. She wanted more and was always demanding for more money, more gifts, more proof that he was serious about their future. Ebuka too was becoming frustrated. He was working harder than ever, but no matter what he did, it never seemed to be enough for Ola. And whenever he brings up the issue of them getting married soon, Ola would brush it off, telling him to make money before they would get married. Then one day, news spread through the village about a rich young businessman who had arrived from the city. He was popularly known as Abani. It wasn't long before Abani's eyes fell on Ola, and he was instantly captivated by her beauty. Abani began to pursue Ola. He showered her with expensive gifts that she couldn't resist. He also started taking her to fancy restaurants in the nearby town and promised her a life filled with luxury and ease. Ola, who had grown greatly dissatisfied with her life with Ebuka, found herself swept away by Abani's wealth and the lifestyle he offered her. One evening, after returning from one of her outings with Abani, Ola's mother called her for a conversation. "Ola, where have you been? You have always been out every night this week." "Mother, let me gist you. I met someone recently. His name is Abani. He's a businessman from the city and he has been very good to me." Her mother's eyes narrowed. "And what about Ebuka? That boy has done nothing but work hard to make a life for you. He loves you dearly and has sacrificed so much for your sake." Ola rolled her eyes. "Love doesn't put food on the table, mother. Neither does love clothe you in fine dresses. Look at what Abani has done for me in just a few weeks. He has offered me everything I have ever wanted. I know Ebuka means well, but he can't provide for me the way Abani can." Her mother frowned. "Ola, wealth is not everything. Abani may have money, but does he love you? Will he treat you with respect and kindness? Money can fade, but true love endures." "Oh, mother, you are beginning to sound like Ebuka. See, mother, Abani has asked me to marry him, and I intend to accept. This is my chance to live the life I have always dreamt of." Her mother's eyes widened in shock. "Marry him? What about Ebuka? Have you thought about how this will affect him? After all these years, you're just going to throw him aside for a man you barely know?" I'm sure Ebuka will understand. He will move on. Besides, Abani has offered to compensate him to make sure he's taken care of." "Compensate? Ola, people aren't commodities to be bought and sold. You can't just pay someone off to erase years of love and commitment." Ola was fed up and dismissed the talk. "Mother, I have made up my mind. Good night." Her mother watched her leave the room. She felt pity for Ola. She knew that Ola was making a grave mistake, but there was little she could do to change her daughter's heart. Meanwhile, Ebuka was unaware of the storm brewing around him. He continued his daily toil, pushing himself harder than ever in hopes of pleasing Ola and proving his worth. He had even started planning a surprise for her, a small engagement ceremony where he intended to formally ask her to marry him. And then, one afternoon, as Ebuka was working on repairing a fence for one of the villagers, he overheard two young ladies talking nearby. "Have you heard about the lucky girl who has captured Abani's heart?" "Ah, yes, so that beautiful Ola girl. He has really pulled out heaven and earth for her. I heard he's even planning a lavish wedding soon. I really envy her." Ebuka's hands froze midway, his heart pounding in his chest. Surely, they couldn't be talking about his Ola. Perhaps it was another girl with the same name. He tried to shake off the uneasy feeling, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't ignore the thoughts. He then decided to go find out the truth by himself. That evening, Ebuka made his way to Ola's house, hoping to find her and clear the doubts. But as he approached, he saw a sleek, expensive car parked outside. His heart sank at the sight of the car. But he gathered his courage and walked up to the house, knocking gently on the door. Ola came to open the door, and Ebuka was shocked to see her dressed in a glamorous outfit that he had never seen before. She was also putting on an expensive jewelry. Ola was startled to see Ebuka, but she quickly composed herself. Ebuka, what are you doing here? She came outside and jammed the door to prevent him from going inside. Ebuka struggled to find his voice. I came to see you, Ola. I have been hearing things about you and some man named Abani. I needed to know if it is true. Ola became annoyed immediately. And what if it is? Why is it any of your concern? Ebuka was shocked. Any of my concern? Ola, we have been together for years. We have plans, dreams. How can you say it is none of my concern? But before Ola could respond, a tall, well-dressed man came out of the house behind her. He looked at Ebuka with an arrogant smile. You must be Ebuka, the man said. I am Abani. Ola has told me a lot about you. Ebuka was too shocked to react. What is going on here? Ola, is this true? Are you with him? Ola was visibly irritated by now. Yes, Ebuka. Abani and I are together. And in fact, we are getting married soon. The words hit Ebuka hard. He staggered backwards in confusion. Married? Ola, how could you? After everything we've been through. Abani smirked and put his arm around Ola's waist. Look, Ebuka, I understand that this must be hard for you, but Ola deserves better than what you can offer. She needs a man who can take care of her and provide for her needs. No offense, but you simply can't do that. Ebuka ignored him and faced Ola. Ola, is this what you really want? To throw away our years together for money? Ola's eyes were cold as she replied, Yes, Ebuka. I am tired of hoping and waiting for a future that may never come. Abani can give me the life I deserve. It is time for me to move on. Tears poured down from Ebuka's eyes as he looked at Ola and Abani. I gave up everything for you, Ola. I turned down opportunities, worked myself to the bone, all because I loved you and wanted to build a life with you. Abani understood the situation and intervened. Lover boy, I understand your plight, so I'll make things easier for you. I am willing to help you out financially. Consider it a token of appreciation for taking care of Ola for all these years. Ebuka felt anger and humiliation run through him. I don't want your money. You can't buy everything with your wealth, he spat out. Abani smiled. Perhaps not, but in this case, it seems I have. Ebuka could not bear the humiliation anymore, and he walked away with his shattered heart. His mother was shocked to see him crying. Ebuka, what happened? Why are you crying? But Ebuka cried even more. Mama, it is over. Ola is marrying another man, a rich man from the city. She chose him over me. But his mother was not surprised. I knew that girl was trouble. She never appreciated you, but you were blinded by love. It is better you found out now than later. I loved her, Mama. I gave up so much for her. How could she do this to me? I know it hurts, Ebuka, but you need to take it like a man. Focus on your life. You have so much ahead of you. For days, Ebuka was heartbroken. He stopped working, stopped eating, and spent most of his time locked away in his room. His mother was worried and feared that he would kill himself. She then forced herself into his room, and her heart broke as she saw him lying down on the bed looking like a finished man. Ebuka, do you want to kill yourself? You are here wasting away while the person who hurts you is enjoying. You need to get up and face life head on. What is the point, Mama? Everything I have worked for is gone. I have nothing left. She then placed a warm hand on his shoulder. That is not true, Ebuka. You still have your dreams, your strength, and your integrity. You also have me. Don't let one person's betrayal take that away from you. He turned to look at his mother with tears in his eyes. I don't know how to move on, Mama. I feel so lost. One step at a time, my son. Start by getting up, eating, and going back to work. Keep pushing forward, and soon the pain will lessen. With the support of his mother, Ebuka slowly began to rebuild his life. He returned to his work and tried to distract himself by working overtime. Meanwhile, preparations for Ola and Abani's wedding were in full force. The entire village buzzed with excitement over the grand event, as it was something they had never seen before. Elaborate decorations adorned the village square, and exotic foods were brought in from the city for the feasts. On the day of the wedding, Ebuka went to work and tried to keep himself busy, avoiding the ceremony that reminded him of his loss. However, as he walked through the village, he couldn't help but hear the loud sound of music and merriment. That evening, as he returned home, he saw the convoy of luxurious cars that took Ola and Abani off to their honeymoon, and as the cars drove past, he caught a glimpse of Ola looking very lively and radiant, adorned in expensive clothes and jewelry. He felt a fresh heartache, but then he knew that he had to accept his fate and move on. The Ola he had known and loved was not the same person now. She had made her choice and followed her path, and he too must face forward and focus on his future. Do you think Ebuka was wise to sacrifice so much for Ola? Do you think Ola's actions are justifiable? Will Ebuka survive this, and will Ola go scot-free after the betrayal?
We'll find out in part 2. Thank you for watching this story. Please share with me your thoughts about the story, and also give the story a thumbs up. Share the story out with your loved ones, and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring part 2 your way. Bye!